What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your $600 second stimulus check update and your $2,000 third stimulus check update. In this video, President Donald Trump is receiving more backlash from Republicans. Joe Biden is now president and has passed multiple executive orders last night, and more will continue for the next 10 days. We'll go over the executive orders and what is going on with the Senate, as the Senate will be the key to the third and fourth stimulus checks and stimulus packages going out. We're going to hear some pretty interesting information about what is going on in the Senate right now. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos regarding upcoming stimulus checks and stimulus packages and mortgage and rental assistance, Social Security increase, student loan forgiveness. We cover it all here on this channel. And don't forget to like this video. It really helps us out. All right, let's jump right in. President Joe Biden, I have to get used to saying that, passed over a dozen executive orders yesterday, 17 to be exact. Most notably, for that will possibly affect you, is extend the eviction and foreclosure moratoriums, and pause payments for federal student loans. Joe Biden also reversed the presidential executive order done by President Donald Trump to freeze $27 billion in federal funded programs. President Donald Trump froze those before he left office with a presidential executive order. Joe Biden basically undid those like 48 hours later after he has now become president. Last Thursday, President Donald Trump used a budgetary legal provision calling on Congress to rescind funds from 73 programs that were fully funded in the last second stimulus check bill and government spending bill. Trump signed them into law but complained about many of the provisions. The budget law allows the president to freeze relevant funds in the program for up to 45 days while Congress considers whether or not to accept them or reject them. The rescission request to cancel out the program's funding. Well, Joe Biden just reversed that, so $27 billion in funding for critical government programs will now no longer be frozen. Former President Donald Trump is getting harshly criticized by legal experts and even his own fellow Republicans for the pardons that he passed less than 24 hours before leaving office. Daniel Coble, a law professor at Capital University, says, quote, Trump in many ways exemplified the worst of both worlds. He ignored most of the ordinary people who are deserving of clemency or pardons, yet granted pardons or communications to those who were powerful, unrepentant, and proud of their criminal actions, such as Robert Stone, Paul Manafort, Michael Flynn, and Steve Bannon. Republican Senator Mitt Romney says that the founders of the U.S. didn't intend pardons to be used for, quote, cronies. Republican Senator Mitt Romney says, I can't imagine the founders, in providing for pardon power for a president, anticipated that presidents would use it to reward political friends, and as a result, I would hope that we could develop a tradition of more narrowly providing pardons and, quote, not providing them to people who are cronies or political individuals. Senators say the presidential pardon power is broad because of Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution, which states the president, quote, shall have power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States, except in the cases of impeachment. Next, the Senate is going to be pretty much the largest key to stimulus checks and stimulus packages going forward when the Democrats and now President Joe Biden decide they want to use Republican support, because there's two ways that they can pass stimulus checks and stimulus packages in the future. First of all, they can pass them in the House of Representatives all by themselves. Literally, you need 50% plus one vote in the House of Representatives, and the Democrats can do that on their own. They don't need a single vote from any Republican in the House to pass any bill. Now, the Senate is different. The Senate has two different ways. And the vast majority of ways that bills are always passed in the Senate is with the filibuster rule, which means you need 60 votes in the Senate to pass bills, such as stimulus checks, stimulus packages, and your normal everyday congressional bills, okay, that might be for climate change or uh, whatever bills are on the docket, right? 60 votes in the Senate. Okay. Well, there's 50 Republicans and 50 Democrats in the Senate right now. So that means going forward, to pass things in the Senate, you need 50 Democrats and 10 Republicans. Remember, right now, Democrats have control of the House, now the Senate, and the presidency. And the reason they have control of the Senate, even though it's a 50-50 tie, is because when there's a 50-50 tie, the tiebreaker vote goes to the quote president of the Senate, which is actually the vice president of the United States, who is now Kamala Harris. So technically, the Democrats have control of the Senate by the slimmest of margins of a 50-50 tie plus that 51st vote. So that now makes Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer from the Democrats and Mitch McConnell, who has been Senate Majority Leader for several years now, will now no longer be Senate Majority Leader and now will be Senate Minority Leader and only be in charge of the Republicans, not the entire Senate. This means he can no longer delay stimulus check bills and stimulus packages. Now, remember, there's actually 3 different bills that Mitch McConnell tabled and just delayed permanently on stimulus checks and stimulus packages. The HEROES Act, that had a $1,200 stimulus check, that passed the House. Mitch McConnell tabled it, never voted on it. The HEROES Act 2.0, that passed the House. That had a $1,200 stimulus check. Same thing. Mitch McConnell tabled it and never even put it to a vote in the Senate. And the CASH Act. Remember that $2,000 stimulus check bill that raised the $600 stimulus checks to $2,000 was also for children and adult dependents? Well, that came from President Donald Trump. And that bill passed the House of Representatives also. And even though it came from President Donald Trump, Mitch McConnell tabled it and didn't vote on it at all. Now we know that that cost him the Senate because they lost those 2 seats in the Georgia Senate, and he's no longer Senate Majority Leader. So maybe he should have put that last one to a vote, and you guys would probably have an additional $1,400 checks per person in your bank account right now. So all that really did was put a small delay on it. But the Senate will still be a pretty much the main contention for any bills in the future because they need 60 votes, but if they don't, if they want to go a different route, they can go the reconciliation route, where they can, for a limited amount of times per year, anywhere between 3 and 9 times per year, they can pass a bill in the Senate with a simple majority of just 51 votes. 50 Democrats and the vice president tiebreaker vote is the 51st vote. The Republicans used this reconciliation rule in the past, most notably for the Trump tax cuts. However, Joe Biden and the Democrats are going to want to push some bills through with Republican support in the Senate, which means they will need 10 senators out of 50 Republicans to vote for bills and stimulus checks and stimulus packages. They're going to get this first one through, but the ones after that, the next stimulus check and the next stimulus check and the next stimulus packages that the Biden administration say is going to go until the pandemic is over, they're going to probably want to get as much Republican support for those as they can. And Mitch McConnell is the leader of the Republicans in the Senate. And this is where it gets interesting. Let me show you what Mitch McConnell just said last night about Joe Biden.
Well, Mr. President, Madam Vice President, while the pandemic has sadly limited our usual hospitality, as others have mentioned, I'm very glad we still carry on some of our favorite inaugural traditions. It's my honor and privilege to help present these flags of our nation that were flown over today's event here at the Capitol. Now, I have to make one point of personal privilege on behalf of the Senate. With all due respect to our distinguished Speaker and our colleagues from the House, I have to note, not only did we just swear in a son and daughter of the Senate to these high offices, but indeed both these former senators skip the House altogether. The Star Spangled Banner is our greatest symbol of our endurance of the American idea. It flies over this building on triumphant days and on tragic ones, over all factions and all parties. And today this flag flew over our former colleague's inauguration as the very first female Vice President of the United States. So to our very distinguished former colleague, Madam Vice President, please accept this flag with the highest compliments and congratulations of the United States Senate.
So Mitch McConnell speaks fondly of now President Joe Biden, who he served with for many, many years in the Senate. And Mitch McConnell actually went to Joe Biden's son's funeral. Mitch McConnell was the only Republican to go to Joe Biden's son's funeral when that happened. He died of a brain tumor. And then Mitch McConnell also talks fondly of now Vice President Kamala Harris, who was a senator up until 2 days ago when she had to resign from the Senate to become vice president. And technically, the vice president is considered the president over the Senate. So I think that Mitch McConnell will probably have a very good working relationship with Joe Biden. Joe Biden and Mitch McConnell consider each other's friends and will probably have a very good working relationship going forward. Joe Biden has been said that when he wanted to get things done in the Senate, he would just pick up the phone and call Mitch McConnell directly, even though they were from opposite political parties, and that they have negotiated deals multiple different times over the years and consider themselves friends. So I do think we will have a bipartisan kind of group working here in the Senate. Now, of course, there's going to be Republican sides and Democrat sides. And, there's going to be times where they stand their ground, and the Democrats will invoke that reconciliation rule for future stimulus checks and stimulus packages when needed. But I think they're going to have a pretty decent working relationship, probably a lot better than we've had in the past, much better than we have, say, with Kevin McCarthy from the House of Representatives, who's the leader of the Republicans, and Nancy Pelosi. Kevin McCarthy kind of hates Nancy Pelosi, just like President Donald Trump and Nancy Pelosi, and kind of like don't ever want to see each other ever again. Don't ever want to speak their names ever again. Mitch McConnell and Joe Biden have a much, much better working relationship, and it seems like Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell have a pretty decent working relationship too, much better than in the House of Representatives. And this will be important going forward when we go to pass more stimulus checks and stimulus packages. Social Security increases. There's already talk of a standalone bill to increase the $200 per month for Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and railroad benefits. And what's interestingly enough is this comes directly from who is now the Senate Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer, of the Democrats. He now leads the Senate. It's no longer Mitch McConnell. This bill literally has his name on it. Now, this is a previous bill that was not able to pass before when Mitch McConnell was in office. And Joe Biden also has this directly on his website, joebiden.com, that they want to increase benefits by $200 per month for all Social Security beneficiaries, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and railroad benefits. The plan to provide more than 60 million Americans with an additional $4,000 over 2 years is part of Senate Democrats' bold Phase 3 stimulus proposal. And now, since literally last night, the Senate changed over to the Democratic control now. Joe Biden literally just got sworn in yesterday. All this becomes a much more real possibility. And the chances for these type of bills, this bill, student loan forgiveness, the third, fourth, and fifth stimulus packages. By the way, the third and fourth stimulus packages have already been announced. They announced the $1.9 trillion stimulus package that has the $1,400 stimulus checks in there for adults, $1,400 stimulus checks for children, and $1,400 stimulus checks for adult dependents this time around. Adult dependents might actually get the first and stimulus checks added onto that for a total of $3,200. That is the third stimulus check package that's already been announced. Of course, there's a lot of other things in there. $30 billion for you guys for rental assistance, hazard pay, sick pay if you have the virus or if you have to care for a child or if your child has to stay home or anybody in your family has the virus. You can get up to $1,400 per week on basically, I guess we'll call that sick pay, virus pay, maybe we'll call that. There's all sorts of different provisions and there are different buckets of money, mortgage and rental assistance, utility assistance, $5 billion for that. That's in the third stimulus check package. That's the one that we're probably going to be getting this week. We're probably going to be getting the bill as early as today or tomorrow, just depending on how fast they work on these. But they've already announced the fourth stimulus package also that they're calling an infrastructure package that's literally going to be more stimulus in there also. And they said they could come as early as February. So third and fourth stimulus packages coming out to a theater near you. Yeah, everything changes now because Mitch McConnell's not in charge of the Senate. I mean, literally just 2 days ago, we had a Republican president. In all fairness, President Donald Trump wanted a lot of stimulus. He pushed for those $2,000 stimulus checks. He pushed for $1,200 stimulus checks. He pushed for more stimulus checks. So President Donald Trump did a pretty good job pushing for stimulus. Now Joe Biden's in there. But really, the real key change here is that the Democrats have taken over the Senate and they now have the Senate, and the presidency, so they can pass things on their own, basically at their will. This third and fourth stimulus packages, checks and mortgage and rental assistance and student loan forbearance, all those things that are on Joe Biden's agenda that he wants to get done. He basically has 2 years, the first 2 years, to be able to pass all these different packages without any Republican support at all. Now, we know that they're going to want Republican support because they can only use that reconciliation rule a certain amount of times. And the more packages that they can and bills that they can pass with at least 10 votes of Republicans in the Senate, that's less times they need to use up their, say, get out of jail free cards, their reconciliation card. Maybe we should make a reconciliation card and I'll hold it up here and it'll be like my hey, I'm using one of my get out of jail cards. Here's my reconciliation card. But they can only use that a certain amount of times. It's honestly, it's a gray area. It's up for debate how many times they can use it. I've seen really three different things. I've heard they can do one time per subject matter per year. Subject matter is a very gray area though. Like our stimulus checks is subject matter, and then Social Security raises a subject matter. Student loan forgiveness is a subject. I mean, stimulus package is subject matter. Then I've also heard that they can pass it 3 times per year. And then I've also heard that they could do it 9 times per year. So basically, it's safe to say that I am not a law scholar and they haven't figured out the details on that. So I don't have concrete evidence for you guys on that because honestly, there's just very little information on this because it's just kind of really coming out now that, oh my God, the Democrats can do this reconciliation rule. So we will be having more details on it, but it's safe to say that they can use it probably several times here to at least get us through the next couple months when needed. They're definitely going to want to get the 10 Republican votes in the Senate to kind of pass things. And I honestly think that Joe Biden wants to pass things with bipartisan support to start. I don't want him to think I don't think that he wants people to think that he's strong arming the Republicans. Because if Republicans think that he's just strong arming them and passing everything without them, they're definitely going to do it a few times. But if he does it too many times or they just feel they're getting strong armed right from the beginning, which could happen. But basically, in 2 years, if the Democrats lose control of the House or the Senate, then Republicans could fight back and be like, well, we know you strong armed us for 2 years, so now we're just not going to do anything for you. So, that's why I think he's going to want to get some Republican support. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free, so you don't miss out on new update videos. And click the bell icon so you get notifications when we go live, which is every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And when there's a lot of news, which there will be over the next few days, 11 p.m. also. So tune in at those times. Those are Eastern times. If you're in a different time zone, obviously you need to adjust your time a little bit there. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA, where I have a program that teaches people how to do that and replace their 9-to-5 income. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.